من والاه. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. سبحانك لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك. أنت المقدم وأنت المؤخر وأنت على كل شيء قدير. اللهم اجعل جمعنا هذا جمعا مرحوما واجعل التفرق بعده تفرقا معصوما ولا تدع فينا شقيا ولا محروما. In the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most compassionate, the most merciful, all praise and thanks are due to him, and peace and blessings be upon his beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He who is guided by the will of Allah, no one can misguide him, and he who is misguided, no one can guide him except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today it will be a little bit, relatively speaking, short lesson, inshallah. We have to go to pay the condolence for one of our dear brothers, if you know him. His father passed away, Dr. Muhammad al-Harahsha. We have just 15 minutes left to say, to do to the house of condolence, yani Bayt al-Aza. That's why I will make it short, inshallah. Rahimahullah ta'ala, inshallah, bi'idhnillah. طيب, respected brothers and sisters. Now today we will be dealing with two verses. حافظوا, we are in verse 238 in chapter AlBaqarah. Our session is 94. Now we have two verses. And in these two verses we have two messages. Okay? In about 25 to 30 minutes. Now the two verses, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم حافظوا على الصلوات والصلاة الوسطى وقوموا لله قانتين فإن خفتم فرجالا أو ركبانا فإذا أمنتم فاذكروا الله كما علمكم ما لم تكونوا تعلمون. Now we have a very beautiful message here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, observe the 5 obligatory prayers, especially the middle prayer, and stand in true devotion to Allah. Type next ayah, if you are in danger, pray on foot or while riding, but when you are safe, take time to remember Allah for teaching you what you did not know. Now the first message is, why do you think, subhanallah, last time and the time before we were talking about a paragraph that contains the intimate, the sexual relation between husband and wife, the breastfeeding, the disputes, the divorce, the financial disputable issues, which is, the main idea, it was relations, conflicts, disputes, divorce, money, spending, which could lead to, counseling and courts and judgment. Out of sudden, حافظوا على الصلوات والصلاة الوسطى وقوموا لله قانتين. Then after that, returned back to speak about some kind of financial, troubles and problems and disputes between husband and wife. So we have question number 1, basically, how important the prayer. We have two questions actually. The question number 1, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, حافظوا على الصلاة والصلاة الوسطى. I will go with the less important question, which is, what is the Salat al-Wusta, the middle prayer? When you go and read, you will see a lot of opinions about that. A lot. Some of them, they say it's al-Fajr. Some of them, they say it's al-Isha. But the most strong opinion, when you see, according to the Hadith Sahih, it's Salat al-Asr. It's the prayer of al-Asr. طيب. Why Allah in specific asked us to take care of Salat al-Asr out of the 5 prayers? To be honest, you will have many opinions about that. But when you look to the whole idea of prayer, for example, in another verse, اللهم صل على سيدنا وقرآن الفجر إن قرآن الفجر كان مشهودا. For example, in another verse, Allah is highlighting the importance of Al-Fajr. Here he is highlighting the importance of Al-Asr. In another hadith Sahiha, Prophet Muhammad is talking about the 2 most important prayer that will be a witness for you as a certificate that you are not a munafiq, is Al-Isha and Al-Fajr. You got my point? So, when you have the whole, every time and then, in Islam, in Quran, in the sound Sunnah, Allah is highlighting and focusing one of the prayers. However, the end result, the importance of the prayer itself. This is the less important for me now. What is more important, what could be the relation of why Allah mentioned prayer in the midst of a lot of conflicts, finance, troubles, breastfeedings, my right, your right, my kids, your kids, we go to the courts, we are about to fight, many cases of disputes which has to do with disputes between, unfortunately, husband and wife. It could lead, and we can witness now. And by the way, if you noticed that about 3 weeks ago, we made a special session here about how to solve problems between husband and wife. This special lecture, it was a response to one of the sisters. She's an Arab Muslim, works with one of the governmental institutions in this country. She came to us and she said the following. She said, we work with the new immigrants. But new immigrants from all different backgrounds. They say, I am the only Muslimah in that division where I work. We help newcomers, new immigrants with their problems. She said, the highest number of those who seek divorce and they have a serious problem in the court with divorce, they are Arabs and Muslims. She came to us asking our help in that. So unfortunately, even though Islam is teaching us how to solve the problems smoothly and peacefully, yet the reality is once one of them or two of them decided to divorce, in most of the cases, it's a quarrel, it's a fight, it's a serious and sometimes violent dispute. Unfortunately, this is the reality, okay? But let's go back to the Quran so that this reality should be changed. Why Allah mentioned prayer in the middle of these disputed things, okay? This is the point. But to understand this, I went to the other verse at Surah Al-Ankabut. I want to combine it with this. Then I will read from one of the Tafsir the beauty of bringing the prayer while we are talking about conflicts and disputes. The other ayah, which is one of many ayat in chapter Al-Ankabut, أُتْلُ مَا أُوحِيَ إِلَيْكَ مِنَ الْكِتَابِ وَأَقِمِ الصَّلَاةَ إِنَّ الصَّلَاةَ تَنْهَى عن الفحشاء والمنكر ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. Recite what has been revealed to you of the book and establish prayer. Indeed, genuine prayer, please underline on this now, genuine, true prayer should deter one from indecency and wickedness. The remembrance of Allah is an even greater deterrent, and Allah fully knows what you all do. Another translation, recite what has been revealed to you of the book and perform prayer. Indeed, prayer forbids immorality and wrongdoing, and the remembrance of God is greater. طيب, I will read to save the time, then I will explain in my way. And Tafsir al-Wasit says, perhaps the secret is that, the secret of why Allah is mentioning the whole idea of prayer in the middle of this, disputable troubles, divorce and breastfeeding and financial, rights and this kind of problems between husband and wife. Perhaps the secret is that these two verses are in the middle between the verses of rulings that talk about divorce, waiting period, breastfeeding and engagement, all of these problems. Perhaps the secret is that these matters are often the subject of conflict, quarreling, and intersection between people. So the Quran, in its wise and influential way, wanted to say to people, your continued prayer and your continued obedience to God and remembrance of Him, all of that will display in your souls your observation of Him, glory be to Him, and the fear of His punishment. It will help you to resolve your issues related to divorce and other matters matters with justice. I will stop by this. As if the Quran is reminding us, you as a human beings, it's very normal. At any moment, you might have a dispute, a conflict with a close person to you. And actually, husband and wife, they have the most sacred relation in planet Earth. The most powerful option-based, contracts. As we always say, the closest, and Allah described this relation with different description. وَقَدْ أَفْضَى بَعْضُكُمْ إِلَى بَعْضٍ وَقَدْ أَخَذْنَ مِنْكُمْ مِيثَاقًا غَلِيظًا. You have a very strong ties, very sacred ties, and you have exposed yourselves, each one to another. Now, when the conflict happens, because they know a lot about each other, and by the way, it's like the partners in any company. They know the secrets, and they know the weakness points, and they can really, really hurt each other. Is it true or not? Subhanallah. The base of the relation, basically, it was supposed to be built on love, respect, empathy, sympathy. However, the conflict happened. Now, one of them or each one of them can literally destroy the other. If someone of them is feeling that he is facing injustice, he can use immoral tools to destroy the others. Does this happen in reality or not? Do we witness this or not? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding them and us and everyone. By the way, this is applicable on any partners. But now we are talking about the marriage. Allah is reminding them with the prayer. Why prayer in specific? Because prayer is the most powerful, divine designed tool. It is my language, okay? The most powerful, divinely designed tool to practice taqwa. That's why, if you can notice in Islam, you might be born as a Muslim or a Muslim revert and you pass away without doing Hajj. Could this be possible? Is it possible not to perform Hajj not even once in your life? Yes. Is it possible not to perform fasting not even once in your life? Is it possible? No Ramadan at all. Is it possible? Yes. I have a chronic sickness. I'm a diabetic. I have a problem. I have some kind of disease that I can't fast. Is it possible not to pay the zakah not even once in my life? Yes. Yes. Subhanallah. What is left? Just salah. The only pillar in Islam that no way to be forgiven, no way except when you lose completely your conscience. Khalas, you lose even your mind, to be crazy, you are not accountable, or at a certain point you lose your conscience. You went in a coma, okay? Otherwise, you have to pray. We are talking about the technical thing, not the spiritual still. You have to pray. Standing, doing the road. I'm tired. Sit. I can't sit. Lay down. I can't move while you are on your bed. Move whatever you can. I can't move anything. Move your eyes. I can't move my eyes. Imagine it in your heart. What? Yes. You have to pray. Can you imagine? Imagine I'm completely losing the control on every organ of my body, but my mind is working. I have to pray to imagine the prayer in my heart as a fard, as an obligation. When I lose even this, at that specific moment, I will be not accountable, just. Can you imagine? This is very important. Why it's important? We said it many times, but just to connect the meanings. As-salah from the word sila. Sila in Arabic means connection. You are connected with Allah. But what is the importance of being connected with Allah? Huh? The most important thing, by the way, taqwa. Like the Sawm as well. Taqwa. Because once Allah is messed outside the equation of my existence, the easiest thing I will be doing, I will be acting the God of myself. Arrogance. By default, I will commit any possible injustice I can approach, as long as I have the power. That's why we always say, humanity, they are in need to believe in God, or otherwise, the one who has the power, by default, will commit injustice against others, which we are witnessing now, because of lacking of faith. But this is, by the way, on the big level, international level. Let's come to the individual level. Sometimes the husband has the power to have the upper hand to commit injustice. It's possible. And sometimes the other way around. It's not always the husband. Sometimes the wife, sometimes the wife, sometimes the husband. It depends. It depends who's supported with the family. It depends who has more connections. It depends on many cases. It depends who has more information, more something, whatever. The only way really to make it Islamic is to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. By the way, if we don't have it, and we are witnessing now in the secular world what happens. Look what happens with insurance companies. Look what happens with any simple trouble you face in your life with anyone in the streets. Immediately, if you don't have insurance, you are lost. But why? Because of injustice. Who cares about haqq or batil? No one cares. Who cares about cheating or not cheating? Hey, can they capture me, yes or no? Is there a CCTV camera, yes or no? If no, that's why they are programmed on what? Can I justify it by law? But sometimes the law itself is designed to protect thieves. Is it possible that in some countries the law is designed to protect corrupted people? By the way, many tax laws in many countries on earth, they are designed to protect people of wealth, but by law. And by the way, many countries, the tax law is designed to way how to give you the power as a wealthy person not to pay tax. I think you are aware of this. By law, they can skip with it. If you want to use the ethical law, they are literally thieves. But the legal law, they skip with it. That's why we need what? Faith. That's why we need inner nature, fitra. That's why we need Islam, because Islam is designed in a way not favoring anyone against anyone else. That's why in the law of Islam, يا نساء النبي لستن كأحد من النساء. Even the wife of the Prophet, if you made a mistake, you will be punished double. What? She is the prestigious wife of the leader. She will be punished double. والله لو أن فاطمة بنت محمد سرقت لقطع محمد يدها. By the will of Allah, if Fatima, the daughter of Muhammad, committed a theft, Muhammad would have cut or chopped her hand. This is the divine law. In reality, let's come. I'm just giving you an idea about the importance of the prayer. The prayer is the ongoing, divinely designed tool to keep connecting you and me with the supreme power in the universe all the time, in case if I am in the status of being mazloom, I'm under injustice, or I could be what? Zalim. I'm the transgressor. I'm the one who's committing the injustice. It's either or. Both of us. If I am the zalim, the one who's attacking, I am the oppressor. Is it possible an oppressor that he prays? Do we have zalimin who pray? طبعا, yes, we have in the society. I'm talking political level. In political level, I doubt our leaders they will do it. يعني, بس I don't know. Sometimes they come without wudu, by the way. We know from some of our relatives who work with them. They pray without wudu. I'm talking about imagination, طبعا, okay? I'm just imagining. Fairy tales. In social level, is it possible for a husband to be zalim and he prays 5 times at the masjid? Is it possible? Yes or no? طبعا. Is it possible the wife, she is zalima, using the law of the land against her husband and making his life hell, and she's praying? Yes. When I go to the prayer, so look, just when I say Allahu Akbar, do you know what is the function of Allahu Akbar? The function. This is now the ruling, the teaching. You must say Takbirat al-Ihram. Takbirat al-Ihram is loudly, Allah is the greatest. It has a function. في دور. Do you know what is it? If I'm a zalim, I say Allahu Akbar, as if Allah is forcing me to remind myself, be careful, hey, know your place. It's a reminder for you. Don't be a zalim. Go and fix it. Go and fix it. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. I'm reminding myself by myself that Allah is the greatest, not myself. Maybe I'm trying to do injustice, so be careful. But if the other way around, I'm the mazloom, I'm the one who's receiving the injustice, I'm the one who's suffering, healing, Allahu Akbar, I'm praying. Now I'm addressing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, either just to feel shame on myself on what I'm doing, or have the spiritual healing and power to have steadfastness against the oppression that I'm facing. I'm just giving you an idea about the importance of the prayer, which means once we have this, if I'm having a genuine prayer, genuine. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the second ayah that we recited, اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد, which is وأقم الصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر ولذكر الله أكبر. Recite what has been revealed to you of the book and establish prayer. Indeed, genuine prayer should deter one from indecency and wickedness. So that not to be wicked with you, the partner, not to do immorality against your partner, you need to be connected. Through what? The prayer. So this is the core message, Wallahu A'lam, one of the possible understanding of the wisdom behind why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned prayer of the Asr, and the importance of 2 verses in the context of a long series of verses about, engagement and sexual relations and breastfeeding and divorce and finance, all of these problems, which means just be careful. If you are a true believer, it's a reminder. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And by the way, let me finish with this. Part of what I do in my life, as most of you know, which is the family counseling. So I sit with tens and hundreds of cases. Wallahi, at least 80 to 90% of the cases, if one of them just decided to apply the full concept of taqwa Allah, using the golden rule. You know what is the golden rule? You know what is the golden rule in the 3 heaven? They call it in the realm of comparative religions. There is something called golden rule. Who knows what is it? Yes, brother. Jazakallah khair. Yes, this is the golden rule. In our religion, it is expressed in the very known hadith, which is لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. None of you will be a true, genuine believer until he or she loves to others what he or she loves to her or himself. Wallahi, if we apply this 80% of the troubles will disappear. So why you have dispute? Because all the time she's telling all of my secrets to her family or to his family. You yourself, would you like, do you feel, I'm not doing it's something very normal, this is part of my life. Okay, what if she did it? What if he did it? You feel very angry. Don't do it. You hate it for yourself. Why do you do it? Simple. Sometimes they reach to the courts and they are using the law against each other. What they apply in their own families, it's not applicable here. Why? He or she, regardless. Anyway, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah, to descend His blessings upon every single person of us and to let the prayer be the most important daily practices which brings us back to the true path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jazakumullah khair. As I told you, I will make it very short because I want to go to the Azza. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Finished. The shortest lesson.
In the past 2 years,